This computer terminal provides full access to the L-Car's computer net.
You know, every once in a while, we can have our cake and eat it too. For years, we have been asking manufacturers to make a modern bike that can do everything, only to be disappointed every single time. Something always gets sacrificed. Either it's great on the road and lousy on dirt, or it's passable off-road and just okay on the road, or maybe it's a beast off-road and pavement is the last option. The time has come for a do-all motorcycle. Something special is about to be a reality. Enter the Kove 450 Rally. I had the opportunity to ride the standard Kove for a week with the USA distributor in the great state of Utah in almost every imaginable terrain and chalking up 800 miles on the Kove. I definitely ran it through its paces, and I can confidently say that the Kove 450 is a game changer, and I'll tell you why. First, let's get the specs out of the way. The Kove is powered by a twin-cam liquid-cooled, fuel-injected 450cc engine with oil cooling, rated at 51 horsepower and 29.5 foot-pounds of torque. It has 8 gallons of fuel capacity with a range of over 300 miles. It has fully adjustable suspension with 12 inches of travel in both front and the rear. It has a 6-speed transmission that can take the Kove over 100 miles per hour. It has a 21-inch front wheel and an 18-inch rear, exactly what you need for serious off-road. The seat height is 37.8 inches for the standard high model, and the ground clearance is 12.2 inches. The Kove weighs 319 pounds. She hides it well, and I'll elaborate on that later.
Come as you are, as you were, as I want you to be, as a friend, as a friend, as an old enemy.
Why is the Kove a game changer? Because it does everything well. Like, really well. As I said before, that usually on an ADV or dual sport type motorcycle that either off-road gets sacrificed or on-road, but in the case of the Kove, it sacrifices neither. When I first jumped on the Kove, I was pleasantly surprised how perfectly ergonomic it was. The seat position and the bars were right on.
Oh wow, looks like a light.
When you first start up the engine, the full-color dash lights up and dances with the Kove logo, and then displays all the information you would need to keep track of your ride. You can change the settings with the thumb buttons on the left handlebar grip. I started my trek from Salt Lake City through some paved mountain roads up to the Wasatch mountain range, then onto some dirt double track. Immediately, my first impression was, holy crap, this is light.
This bike is super light. Just feels great. Ergonomics are wonderful, and I got bags on it too. Fully loaded up bags.
I mean, this shouldn't be possible. The Kove has 3 fuel tanks, 2 up front and 1 in the rear, that hold a total of 8 gallons. Yup, 8 gallons. Plus, I was fully loaded with saddlebags with all my camping gear, and I could hardly tell it was there. The bike weighs 319 pounds dry, and you have to ask, how is this possible? It all lies in the clever engineering of the bike and where the weight is placed. If you keep the mass low, then that's where the magic happens, and the Kove does just that by keeping the engine and the fuel as low as possible. So for instance, a typical air filter is behind the gas tank and in the middle. The Kove has its air filter up high, which is great because it sucks in less dirty crap, but also leaving room for fuel to be down lower. What's even crazier is the Kove maintains gobs of ground clearance at the same time. The end result is the bike rides like a light 4-stroke enduro. I can't say enough how light this bike feels despite its 300-pound plus weight. Let's talk engine. When I first hopped on the bike, I kind of took it easy and just kept the engine at lower RPMs, expecting the engine's torque to do everything. Honestly, at first I was like, it's okay, nothing special. But then once I learned exactly how the Kove wants to be ridden, off-road, it wants to be ridden like a dirt bike. I then understood the beast inside. The 450cc engine likes to be ridden hard to unleash the beast. It makes most of its power above 6,000 RPM, and wow, she opens up if you actually ride it like you're out to have fun. This bike is so much fun to ride, and the engine just powers through everything you throw at it. While it's no powerhouse, it is very linear in personality, meaning control and predictability, which is exactly what you want on the trails. The engine cruises on the highway with very little vibes at 80 miles per hour, which is pretty good for a single-cylinder thumper. The Kove engine is very throaty sounding and not a silent Honda commuter, so take that as a good or bad thing. I think it's a great engine with a lot of potential. The gearbox is very smooth and it seems to be the right ratio, perhaps leaning on the tall side in second gear on gnarly off-road. Nothing that could be made better by a simple sprocket change, but it did well on and off-road with stock gearing. The Kove suspension is great. It soaks up all the bumps and keeps the traction where you want it. I was able to put it through a gauntlet of bowling ball rock gardens and it just kept tracking well and not deflecting the bike everywhere. Now, it's not Harley plush, but I had no complaints as it took everything I threw at it with ease. I even jumped the bike a bunch and it didn't bottom out once. The brakes are absolutely fantastic on the Kove. It can stop on a dime and it modulates very well with a feeling of complete control. Let's talk about bike ergonomics and comfort. The Kove just feels right sitting down or standing up. The seat comfort is pretty good and I can attest to that having some long miles on the road. One of the things every rider should be doing when riding off-road is stand up when you ride, and the Kove feels like a Ktm Enduro Bike when standing. It seems the Kove engineers put a lot of thought into frame design and ergonomics, and it pays off huge. I went over all the reasons why the Kove is fantastic off-road, but it's also great on-road too. The engine is smooth for a single-cylinder thumper and has little vibes at 80 miles per hour. It will get up to and over 100 miles per hour. The windshield seems to deflect the wind off you just enough to keep it comfortable at high speeds. It cruises comfortably and the seat is pretty decent. I spent a few hours on the highway and my tush held up pretty good considering I don't find any seat comfortable on any motorcycle. What kind of bike is the Kove and who is it for? It's a rally bike. 3 Koves completed the Dakar Rally, so enough said there. That is a feat in itself. It's an ADV bike. You can load up the Kove with saddle and tank bags like I did and take off on an adventure. With 300 miles plus range, you can cover plenty of ground. I had mine completely loaded up with all my camping gear, clothes, and food, and it toted around like it wasn't even there. The Kove makes a perfect adventure bike because it's so dang light. Seriously, why does everyone keep buying these behemoth GSs and large adventure bikes? If I dump the Kove, I can pick it up with ease. Try that with the GS. Lightweight adventure bikes are so much more fun. It's a dual sport bike. Yes, the Kove makes a fantastic dual sport bike for all the reasons I already went over. Almost all dual sport bikes out there sacrifice either on or off-road. The Kove sacrifices neither. Also, most dual sport bikes can't handle gnarly terrain and technical trails all that well, but the Kove can. Having put the Kove through a gauntlet of every terrain Utah had to offer and it excelling in every way, I'm amazed that they pulled this bike off. It's truly a game changer in my view. It really is a unicorn do-all bike. It does ADV, off-road, and on-road all very well without sacrificing anything. The weight distribution is what makes the magic happen in my view, but it really is a package deal, all the parts working together that make it such a fantastic motorcycle. I would say that the Kove is the new DRZ 400. The DRZ 400 is such an awesome bike and was the king of dual sport forever. But it's seriously outdated. With the Kove, you get updated ergonomics, suspension, fuel injection, and a 6th gear. The Kove gets an L-Cars ADV and gauge rating. If you're looking for a dual sport, ADV, or rally bike, the Cobase should be at the top of your list. I hope this review has been helpful, and I will be putting out more videos of the ride with the Cobase soon. I thoroughly enjoyed having it for a week, and I want to thank Gary from Kove for letting me ride it for the week. See you on the trails, live long and ride.